No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. We're going all the way so you can score more for your trade-in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV today. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise Pregame Show from Bronco Nation News, as we get you set for the latest news, insight, and analysis as game time approaches. The BNN Pregame Show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out lithiafordboise.com to view the full inventory of vehicles, or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise Pregame Show from Bronco Nation News.
Boise State putting its undefeated Mountain West record on the line in front of a sellout crowd in about an hour here at ExtraMile Arena. Daytime National CBS basketball here from the Treasure Valley. We welcome you into the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. My name is BJ Rains. We got Abe Jackson with us. John Mallory is going to join us as well. We're going to have our man Mark Ziegler from the San Diego Union Tribune as well. But Abe Jackson, you were the lone media member up in Laramie, Wyoming. You're the only one that saw that game. Although I did watch the second half during the halftime of the football game.
Yep.
Got a chance to watch some on the TV on my computer on the Mountain West Network. But Boise State gets the win in San Jose, gets the win in Wyoming, gets two of those trap games out of the way. 3-0 in league, 5 wins in a row, and now coming back for a major showdown here at the X.
Well, we were talking about this game, I don't know, about 2 weeks ago or so, saying that the Mountain West was set up pretty good for the Broncos starting conference play, and they should go 3-0 and then be undefeated when they see San Diego State. And that's exactly what happened. And I think what really helped was that the Broncos shot the ball well in Wyoming. They were 40% as a team from three. Tyson Degenhardt's 50% from three in conference. So maybe that shooting is starting to tick up a little bit at the perfect time. But that win in Wyoming, it was a 9-point win, which I think is a solid win against a Wyoming team that has some really good, probably all conference guards, and in that elevation as well. So I like how they played in Wyoming, and hopefully they can take it over here to San Diego State.
For folks watching the Fiesta, what'd they miss in Laramie?
Pretty much a rock fight. I mean, that's what someone at the arena told me, a part of the administration, when I asked them about this game. They said Wyoming wants to make this a rock fight because they know that Boise State can score 80-plus points, and they need to hold them below that. And they held them to 67, but still, it was a 9-point win for the Broncos, and it was really solid. I mean, they kept the lead from about 3 to 9 almost the entire second half. Wyoming made a little bit of a run, but then Boise State stretched it right back out. So it was – I won't say it never was in doubt, but the Broncos just seemed to – it was one of those games the Broncos just seemed to have control the whole time.
And again, it sounds easy, like, oh, you're playing Wyoming, who's supposed to be towards the bottom. San Jose is supposed to be towards the bottom, but there's going to be some teams. We already saw Nevada go there and lose before that, but both those places, San Jose and Wyoming, they're going to get some people this year, and to get those two kind of trap game wins out of the way, I think is big.
Yeah, and it's one of those wins. They're both wins that you have to wrap your head around more than just the record of when you're playing those teams, because they won't have great records, but you go to those buildings, and for one reason or another, San Jose with nobody, then doesn't even feel like a basketball arena, and then 7,220 feet in Laramie, you can feel that. And it's, you get both those wins, and now you can get a couple home games too. So Broncos have a chance with 2 home games to maybe go 5-0 in conference.
A lot of folks chiming in with score predictions. Let us know where you're watching from. We'll give you a shout out, your score predictions. We got Sarah Keene saying hello to Gabe Johnson. That's a
little inside story from the Cayman Islands, but yes, I don't know if Gabe Johnson's going to make an appearance in this game, but he probably should have in Wyoming, since I was calling that solo.
Yes, that would have been awesome. Yes. What was that like, by the way, knowing that it probably wasn't the most viewed viewership you've ever had?
Well, I had someone from Boise State tell me that this is the if a tree falls in a woods game. If the Broncos play a basketball game and no one's around to listen to it, did it happen? And so it was, I think there was a little bit more listeners than I thought, but of course with that festival going on, it was just tough timing for both of the sports. But
was that weird too? I don't know if the coaches, anybody trying to find out a score, were you monitoring a score or anything?
I mean, a little bit before the game and after the game, of course, we were taking a look at it, but no one came over and asked or anything.
Yeah.
I gave a couple updates on the air when I saw it, an update on ESPN, but for the most part, they're focused on the game.
Now, Boise State did make a change to the starting lineup in that game. Omar Stanley came off the bench for the first time this season. My understanding is that will be the same again today. Omar Stanley coming off the bench. And today I'm told it's a little more of a matchup thing. When San Diego State goes to the bench, maybe it's a better matchup when they can sub Omar in against some of their bench players. But what did you make of putting Dylan Anderson in the starting lineup against Wyoming and keeping it that way again today?
You know, I mean, the coaches look at film, and they look at film all year long and look at how a player reacts to playing against a certain type of player. And San Diego State does have probably the best shot blocker in the conference in Magoon Guath, a 7-footer. He's 7 foot, 205. BJ, I think me and you both outweigh him, and neither one of us are close to 7 foot.
And he shoots 42% from three.
Right, and he can shoot a little bit. So you got somebody inside with some height, so play your 7-footer against their 7-footer. You know, I think it makes sense. And then, of course, Stanley coming off the bench. Now you have him and Buchanan coming off the bench. Those are two big-time guys that could be in pretty much any starting lineup in the Mountain West. So you got some firepower on your bench.
I know the overall stats are fine, but where are you with Omar Stanley right now? We just haven't really – it's been, glimpses here and there, but he just hasn't been that consistent first-team all-league player I think a lot of us expected.
Yeah, and I think part of that is Buchanan coming along. I mean, you have some new guys coming in, and there's the same amount of shots in every game, right? And so where are those shots going to come from? You have Cardenas playing really well. Degenhardt's going to get his shot. I think Andrew Meadow is someone that we didn't talk about really in the preseason, except for, Andrew Meadows coming back, and he'll be a decent player. He's the second leading scorer for the Broncos, and I really like that he's putting the ball on the deck more and not just shooting threes. The last 2 games, he's had 2 or 3 drives to the hoop and finishes. So with those type of shots, they're going to come from somewhere. And I think Omar Stanley's okay with that, though. We talked to him on the postgame on the radio, and he said, it's a different feel this year, and they're asking me to do different things, but that's okay. I want to win games. And the Broncos right now, 3-0 in conference. Right now, it's kind of hard to say that the right decisions aren't being made with the wins that they're getting.
Abe Jackson from the Bronco Radio Network in Learfield. You'll hear him in 18 minutes over on 670 KBOI. We got him for a couple more minutes, though, first. And Abe, it just still doesn't feel like it's clicked yet. I mean, they're 3-0. They've won 5 in a row, but from the start of the season to now, the computer metrics are still a little bit lower than where they started. They're not winning in the dominant fashion maybe in some of these games. It just, Leon says, hey, that's a great sign. We have a lot of room to grow. But, I mean, at some point, you kind of are who you are. Where are you just overall with the pieces, still trying to fix the rotations, the lineups? I mean, 8 different guys have all started at least 2 games, and it just seems like it still hasn't quite clicked yet, which I guess you could say is a good thing.
I don't think the lineup really is something that we could point out to say it's not clicking, because, I mean, you can adjust your lineup, especially when you have – it's not 2 years ago where you had 5 guys, then all of a sudden your 6th guy, you didn't even know if they were going to get in the game because the bench, it fell off so quickly. It's a really deep team this year. So if you do need to kind of pick and paste guys here and there for your starting lineup, that's okay. But I do agree that, there have been some games and at least some stretches in games that just haven't looked as good as we thought. And not that you can't have ebbs and flows in games, but sometimes they're just a little bit longer. than what we thought. But 3-0 in conference. This will be a huge watermark right here, though, because this will be the best team that they've played in conference so far. And they had a tough loss at home against Utah State, who hit a 3-pointer with like 1 or 2 seconds left to win by 1. So this will be a good barometer for the Broncos to see if they are starting to click as smooth as they should be.
They got in about midnight last night, had some travel delays and things, and now you turn that around with a 2 o'clock game today. But this series between San Diego State and Boise State has won 6 of the last 7 games overall. They've won 3 in a row against them. That Max Rice crazy overtime game last year when he hit that shot from almost half court down at Viejas Arena. But overall in this building, Boise State's won 6 of the last 7 as well. I mean, for whatever reason, San Diego State, Boise State, I mean, they're always close games. They're always great games, but Boise State's done a great job in this series the last couple of years to make some plays late to get these wins.
Yeah, and I think that speaks to both these programs. I mean, you could probably say New Mexico would probably be in the conversation as well, but you want to talk about the best teams in the conference in maybe the last 6 or 7 years, San Diego State, Boise State, and you could probably throw in a New Mexico into that conversation, and not just a 1 year here and then they're kind of gone, but continually being at the top of the conference, these two teams. And of course, when you look at the wins, I mean, a lot of them, many of them, I can't even remember a double-digit loss by one of these teams. I'm sure there's been one, but recently they've been single digits, a lot of them 1 or 2 possessions. So I'm thinking it'll be about the same tonight.
There was one when Marcus Shaver was hurt and didn't play like 2 or 3 years ago down there, and they got beat pretty bad when our friend Jace Whiting had trouble getting the ball across half court. But overall, the crazy senior night game where Max Rice stole it, banked it. I mean, every game is just crazy. But as Brian Dutcher said, it's a healthy rivalry. It's not one of those keep bad rivalries where guys don't like each other. There's a mutual respect.
Yeah.
San Diego State getting to the championship game. I mean, they've obviously been the cream of the crop, but I think Boise State has proven itself, to the rest of the league and to San Diego State as being a perennial contender as well. And it's 2 of the best teams in the league every year, and it's 2 great games, 2 sellout crowds, and it's going to be that way again today.
Yeah, it's awesome when they play each other, both at each arena. I mean, it's sellouts at both places. It's going to be loud. It's going to be crazy, and hopefully it's a good game. And what I think for the Broncos, what it comes down to is, one, I'd like to see you shoot 40% from 3 again. I think that would be fantastic for the Broncos. But then it's also guarding the wings. The top 4 scorers for San Diego State are 6'7" or smaller. And so it's going to be guarding the penetration, running off of screens. You don't really have to worry too much of a back-to-the-basket type player or someone who really gets at the elbow and then makes a move. It's going to be a lot of drives from the three-point line. It's going to be coming off screens and hitting threes.
And it's a new-look roster for San Diego State, too. I mean, you go down this list, there's only a couple guys that fans are going to remember, and even those guys weren't exactly key players for them last year, in a Miles Bird and a Reese Waters, but they hit the transfer portal. They've got some freshmen, a very young team, and this is their first. They played at Fresno, but there wasn't much of a crowd there. This is going to be their first kind of hostile, true road environment this season with a young, in a roster, a lot of transfers and things too. Like, it's going to be curious to see how they react. But it is a different-looking San Diego State team.
It is. I mean, just like really a lot of teams in college basketball now, the Tyson Degenharts of the world are going to be extremely rare moving forward, where you have a senior that's been with the program for all 4 years. But I'll be honest, I don't really worry about San Diego State handling the environment. If there's one thing that this San Diego State program has, it's really consistency anywhere that you play. You saw it a few years ago in the NCAA tournament. They've come in here and they've played well a lot over the years. They've played well at New Mexico. So this San Diego State team, just the program in general, I'd say it is used to some big-time environments, and I think this is going to be one here this afternoon.
National game on CBS. Last time on CBS didn't go as well against
Washington
State.
We don't want to talk about
Another chance to, but I don't think Boise State's lost since. They've won 5 in a row and a chance to, on a national stage, kind of make a statement today.
And I think we're going to look back at that Washington State game and just say, that first half was a little bit of a fluke, the way that they played. Couldn't hold on to a rebound, kept turning the ball over, couldn't really knock down a shot. So, looking forward to the Broncos getting after it here against the Aztecs.
Hey, appreciate it, Abe. Any final keys?
Guard the perimeter. I think, like I just talked about, a lot of their main scorers are 6'7" or smaller, so you're going to be guarding that three-point line. Also, dribble drives.
Appreciate it, Abe. Good luck on the call.
Yep.
Abe Jackson, 670 KBOI, coming up in 13 minutes with our man Bob Beeler. We appreciate him for joining us today. I just see the Rains boys down there in the front row, so you're going to have some fans. We got the Rains boys in attendance today. We're going to have John Mallory join us shortly. We're going to have the great Mark Ziegler join us later in the show as well. We got a lot to get to here on the Lithia Ford Boise pregame show. Give us your score predictions. Give us your Matt Bauscher Real Estate Player of the Games if you want to as well. Boise State, San Diego State, a ton on the line for Boise State in this one as the Broncos look to win their 6th win in a row. They look to go to 4-0 in Mountain West play. We're going to have our man Johnny Ballgame join us in just a second. But first, Western Collective, the studio sponsor, the Horseshoe Golden Ale, Orange Chaos Seltzer. If you're coming down to the arena today, make sure you grab a Horseshoe Golden Ale. A portion of those proceeds go to benefit the student athletes at Boise State. I saw Spencer Danielson over at the groundbreaking ceremony. I said, how you feeling? He said 40 hours to go. So he's obviously counting down the time here in terms of the transfer portal and things. Every dollar counts. The Horseshoe Collective. You can have some delicious beer in the process. Western Collective, our studio sponsor. Our title sponsor, roepaint.com, roepaint.com. Our title sponsor, all your painting needs. Interior, exterior painting. Those concrete coatings, all that good stuff. roepaint.com, all your painting needs. Make sure you check them out, our title sponsor at roepaint.com. Again, John Mallory, Prater and the Ballgame host, going to join us in about 30 seconds. But ICCU.com, Idaho Central Credit Union, Tyson Degenhart. Yeah, he's got to deal with ICCU. Speaking of NIL, return the favor, folks. Make the switch today. You may like your banking experience. You'll love ICCU much better. Check them out online, Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. I mentioned a Matt Bauscher Player of the Game. We need a Bauscher Real Estate Player of the Game today. Need to know who you got for that Player of the Game. Give us your advanced thoughts, your preview. Matt Bauscher Player of the Game. Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. No home is too big or small for Matt and his team. Check them out online at BauscherRealEstate.com. And our friend at Ridley's Family Markets. Ridley's Family Markets, check them out. ShopRidleys.com. 13 locations across the state of Idaho, surrounding states as well. We appreciate Mark Ridley and company. ShopRidleys.com. You can check them out. All your needs when it comes to ice, to soda, for the, you're heading up to McCall for the weekend. You need some meat for the grill. They got you covered. ShopRidleys.com. We bring you a live look at warm-ups. Boise State on the court. We're about 45 minutes away from tip-off. Boise State, San Diego State, one of the biggest home games of the year, one of the biggest games of the year, period, as the Broncos look to stay undefeated in conference play and look to stay, 6 straight wins, stay tied atop the standings, keep that momentum rolling that they have going right now. And we're bringing our man Johnny Ballgame, host of Prater and the Ballgame, 3 to 6. You can hear him weekdays with our man Mike Prater. And Ballgame, we were over at the football groundbreaking ceremony and now getting settled in for a big-time hoops game.
Yeah, what an era. I was talking with Abe Jackson about this 10 minutes ago before he came on with you, and he's like, this is probably going to be the golden era of Boise State athletics in his life. Could be 4 straight trips to the NCAA tournament, and, of course, football going to that 12-team playoff, having a bye week, everything, BJ, that comes with that. And now you got San Diego State in town. Wait, what? Like, when the Boise State home conference schedule comes out for me, this is the game I look at. I want it on a Saturday, preferably middle to the end of conference play, because I would like my team, whoever that may be, to play them when I hope that they're at their best. But early on, Boise State has a chance to announce its presence with authority if they can get a win as 4.5-point favorites in this game, BJ, and get to 4-0 in this league. But, yeah, this is what I sign up for to cover Boise State athletics. I'm never going to miss a San Diego State game.
Well, you know who else used to sign up for this? Our man TB, Tyler Bates.
Is that D?
Yes, it is. Watching from snowy Big Sky, Montana. Maybe someday Ballgame.
I need a little more.
He said, maybe someday Ballgame will finally get my straw hat properly retired in the rafters.
That was in talks.
TV was the man back in the day, man. The first time you were here in Boise, led the student section.
The Derek Marks era.
Yeah.
Larry Eustace is getting a standing ovation right now in Ames, Iowa at halftime of the Iowa State Baylor game. Good for Coach.
Let's see. Skyship is ice fishing right now. Henry's Lake, 10 poles in, listening to BNN.
Dude, where else are you guys? Who can beat that? Ice fishing, grumpy old men style. Moron. That's a joke from Cole from a movie.
But, Johnny, they did announce yesterday a sellout crowd filing in. I'll be curious to see from the student perspective. Not much of a student crowd yet. They're obviously on break still, but you see the third level up there already filing in. This is a sellout crowd. No seats available for purchase. Should be one of those awesome atmospheres today.
Isn't that cool that they just typically sell out the San Diego State game now? Like, I don't have to bark on talk radio. You don't have to write an article every single week and post 15 videos a day. Like, this fan base just knows now that this is a big game and this is an event in this town. And when sports and events collide, I mean, you're going to want to check it out. Students are so weird here, BJ. You just never know the pulse of the fan base, the student fan base, when it comes to this basketball team. Certainly, you said they're still on break. We'll see. BJ, we've seen bigger student crowds in our time before games than we've seen this, but I don't know. They can
typical
San
Diego State game. It might be full by now in the student section.
I'm with you.
So.
And if you're at the Viejas, it is full right now.
Yep.
If you're at what's Stan Sheriff Center D. Glenn Smith Spectra.
Hawaii. Is there a big student population in Hawaii?
No, I get my Mountain West arenas mixed up.
The Pit?
Never been.
Need to get you down there.
I know, man. I got to go with you.
What is it about this series, though, man? We've seen some memorable games against San Diego State. The Max Rice game 2 years ago, banking in that three. Last year, Max Rice hits that half quarter in overtime to take down San Diego State. Boise State has won 3 in a row against San Diego State. They've won 6 of the last 7 against San Diego State. And in this building, they've won 6 of the last 7. Think about that. San Diego State, this premier program, has got on their plane and left Boise 6 of the last 7 times with a loss. What do you make of this matchup? It's usually a big crowd. It's a great game. And for whatever reason, Boise State has been able to play well against San Diego State. But we know it's going to be another classic game.
BJ, San Diego State is the flagship basketball program in this league, similarly to Boise State on the football side. Period. End of story. It's the best basketball program in this league. And I know maybe a lot of Mountain West fans, maybe you and the fan base in Logan, Utah, might not necessarily agree with this, but Leon Rice, I mean, come on, man. Last decade has been an upper-level Mountain West coach and has had Boise State living in the upper-level neighborhood of this conference way more often than not. And this has turned into 2 teams where typically you're like, okay, they're both going to be good most years. San Diego State, hell yes. Boise State, the Leon era lately, mostly yes. And dude, Tyson's last chance to send Dutch on that plane, saying, dang it, he's my favorite player in the league and I can't beat him, that type of stuff. So it's going to be a good one, BJ. I got San Diego State winning this.
What?
I do.
Wow.
I got San Diego State winning this. I think for Boise State to be favored.
John Mallory on today's show. Appreciate you, Johnny.
I'll tell you what. This San Diego State team is shooting really, really well, especially for San Diego
Mark's
State.
Listening to your analysis here, by the way.
He agrees with me, especially for not that they're going to win, but that this San Diego State team has done what most don't do well, and that's shoot threes. They always defend the 3 well. But this team, look at their numbers, BJ. Upper echelon 3-point shooting team. Wait, what? San Diego State? Yes, they're shooting the ball this year, and Boise State needs to find its shot. Or this just isn't a very good shooting team, and they're going to have to win elsewhere. But heck yeah, it's going to be a battle, and I think San Diego State, look, is Boise State, that means they're going to win 7 out of 8. At some point, you keep flipping the coin, calling heads or tails correctly. At some point, you're just going to miss it. That's great. Coin flip analogy from your.
By the way, our man Dylan is at Circa right now in Las Vegas, watching in the sports book, rooting for Boise and the over.
4.5 plus San Diego State.
What's the number there right now, Dylan? What's the number right now in there at Circa? Let us know what you got there. You're getting booed for your prediction there.
I know.
But the 4.5, I'd be tempted to take. I don't know quite about the final.
Yeah, Boise State's favored by 4.5 in this game, and. Heck, a lot of times they know something that we don't. Hell, most of the time they know something we don't. And maybe this is a festive crowd, and this fan base, BJ, wants to blow up today, right? And they want to kick somebody's ass, Seabass. And they would love nothing more from a basketball perspective for, Seabass to kick San Diego State's ass at this. And they can help nurse if they're still dwelling on some sort of Fiesta Bowl hangover, BJ, for them to kind of, stop that instantly today and get this place rocking. We love the X when it rocks, and we'll see who's going to be that guy today. But this team has to shoot better, especially from downtown, BJ. The numbers just aren't there this year.
No, they're not. They're not. And I was going to ask you, 8 different players have started at least 2 games. Omar Stanley now coming off the bench. Just seems like they're still kind of clicking, trying to find the right rotations and mojo right now. Where are you just overall? They've won 5 in a row. They're 3-0 in league, but it doesn't necessarily feel like it's clicked yet.
Can you tell me who's starting? Do you know yet, BJ? Can you announce that? It is going to be
the same starting 5 as last game.
So Omar Stanley is not in this starting lineup.
And part of that is because apparently they've got a 7-footer, Magoon Guap. They want to match him with Dylan Anderson. They feel like Stanley will match up better with some of the bench players from San Diego State.
Maybe they're going to platoon the starting 5 this year based on the opponent. Some games Dylan Anderson will start. Some games Omar Stanley can start. That's a little quirky, but I don't know if that's what they want to do. Usually by this time, you're 4 games now into league play. Kind of like to have your rotation set, but hey, you earn your minutes on this team. And if guys aren't earning their minutes on the floor, Leon's going to give other guys a shot. And even in this case, BJ, a shot to start. Dylan Anderson, the prized piece of this off-season class, to come in here, and maybe this is the game that he starts getting things going more so than being a 14-minute per game player, which is what he's been so far on this team. Maybe he takes that step. But my biggest question is, where's the Omar I saw last year? I haven't seen him yet, and it's odd. Now he's not starting multiple games in a row. Just kind of weird. And I'm not trying to be Mr. Negative on this. I just said, hey, I think San Diego State's going to win.
That's why
my opinion.
We pay you for your honest analysis, not your homerism. So I like it. Final thing, Tyson, man, you need a Tyson-type game today.
Oh, you're going to get it, right? This game has T. Daggy, like 20-10 written all over it, and I will make one prediction. Tyson Dagenhart is going to shoot 40% or better from downtown today. The first one is going to go in, and he's going to play off of that the rest of the night. I think Tyson Dagenhart, BJ, finally is going to get his shot, and they need it. Tyson Dagenhart, last I looked, was shooting less than 20% from downtown, and we just know he's a better shooter than that. I'd like him to shoot like double that, 40%, if that'd be possible. Maybe he can do that today.
Should be fun, man. Appreciate your time as always.
The best, guys.
Johnny Ball Game. We appreciate you. John Mallory, host of Prater in the Ball Game, 3 to 6. Weekdays with Mike Prater on KTIK 95.3 The Ticket. We're going to have Mark Ziegler come in and join us shortly from the San Diego Union Tribune. Does a tremendous job covering San Diego State athletics. But I'm going to thank a few sponsors real quick while we get the San Diego State perspective. Snake River Pool and Spa, Patio and Game, thespateam.com. Locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. They've been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team. You can view their website and their full inventory at thespateam.com, whether it's that pool table, a sauna, spa for the back patio. They got you covered online at thespateam.com. Check out Lithia Ford of Boise. They're all-wheel drive vehicles for the conditions. If you need a vehicle for the conditions, they got you covered at Lithia Ford of Boise. Ice, snow, it's all coming. You want to have that vehicle like the Raines family has, that F-150. They got you covered. And they got 6 NIL deals. We're talking a lot about NIL today and yesterday and tomorrow, getting ready for the portal to close. That's a big deal. And they take care of 6 football players, 6 student athletes, 4 football players. So you want to return the favor. Lithia Ford of Boise is where you need to give your business for your next car or truck purchase. TacoBellWorks.com, the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family. We appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. The food is delicious. Taco Bell's the premier sponsor for the game today. I'm looking at a Taco Bell logo on the scoreboard right now. So Taco Bell's backing it up. They're putting their money where their mouth is. They're a big-time supporter of Boise State, the endowed scholarships for the men's and women's basketball teams. Take your family to Taco Bell for that meal, the Cantina Bowls, all the great food they have at Taco Bell. TacoBellWorks.com, SON Management, the Nicolason family. Again, big supporters of BNN and Boise State. Return the favor. And if you need a job, they're hiring. Get more information online, TacoBellWorks.com. Speaking of hiring, Transportation Compliance Service, TransComService.com. 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 You can check them out. Get into the trucking industry, all your trucking needs. They got you covered. Whether it be DOT, overweight permits, maybe you never thought of the trucking industry as a career for you, but they can help you out. Transportation Compliance Service. You can check them out online at TransComService.com. Again, a live look at ExtraMile Arena, a sellout crowd filing in for this one. We love Signature Roofing. They're the best. We'll tell you more about them a little later. But we bring on our man, Mark Ziegler. Does a tremendous job covering the Mountain West, covering San Diego State with the San Diego Union Tribune. And, Mark, appreciate you as always for jumping on. What do you know? A sellout crowd, a big game, a lot at stake. Boise State, San Diego State. It's been like this a lot lately.
It has, and it's a great atmosphere. I love this arena. I love the balconies in it. Reminds me of like the old Boston Garden, a couple of those old school, the pit at Oregon. Before they built the new arena. I just love it because the sound comes straight down. And that said, it's going to be a big ask for the San Diego State team. They're very good, but they're very, very young. I mean, they got 6 freshmen or sophomores in the 9-man rotation. And that's just, they haven't been in this before. And I just think it's too early for them, probably too much, but we'll see. They're talented. They're pretty resilient. And they've outkicked their coverage a little bit this year. Just in terms of expectations and what they've done.
Somebody's asking if Vern is here. I don't think Vern's here today.
No
Vern Harris today.
But we got Mike Littlewood, so
who I think has got history with both teams here, not in a good way.
Oh,
so
he does.
He's the former BYU baseball coach, correct?
And a BYU alum, which is, as we've talked about, is a very odd thing to have him officiate San Diego State games. Given
Boise State too, they don't like BYU. They got a big rivalry there.
Yep. I mean, I guess it's hard. No one wants a BYU guy refereeing their games, but San Diego State doesn't have a natural rival. The crosstown teams are smaller, and they don't really have a rivalry there. Their rivalry, mostly in football, but also in basketball with Jimmer and Kawhi, for years was BYU till they left the league, and so people are not happy when they see him out there.
So you get the BYU baseball coach Mike Littlewood, and then Earl Watson, a Big Ten official, and then you get the great Randy McCall. It seems like every San Diego State Boise State game, Randy McCall's out there, but he's not a big fan favorite in Boise for his some of the issues he's had over the years either. But he's a little bit older official, veteran official, but is regarded as a fine official. Right?
Yeah, I think the key in these games is having veteran guys. You don't want to have guys who've never been in the atmosphere and don't know the teams, don't know the history of the programs. Obviously, you've got a guy from the Big Ten. This is his first time here for this, but the other two guys have been around a little bit, and they're prone to making some squirrely calls, but they're also veterans, and they shouldn't be intimidated by the crowd at the moment.
So tell us about this San Diego State team. A couple of really, really nice wins, and then it gave one away against Utah State last Saturday. Kind of a shocking game there, up 7 with like 90 seconds left. But just overall, San Diego State, a lot of you're looking at the list. It's a lot of new names for fans they're not familiar with, and a new look team this year. Yeah,
so 5 new starters. They lost 3 guys in the transfer portal who were seniors and would have brought a lot of veteran depth. Who'd been on the championship team or the team that went to the championship game. Elijah Saunders went to Virginia, starting, averaging double figures. Lamont Butler went to Kentucky, starting, average double figures, had 33 in a game not too long ago. Micah Parrish went to Ohio State, starting, averaging double figures, one of their leading scorers. And so that, you just don't replace that. Plus, you lost Jaden Ledee. And they basically replaced it with freshmen. And they're very talented freshmen. They're big, they're long. 1'6'6", Taj DeGorville could play 4 positions. One's Lagoon Guak, who redshirted last year, but now is a freshman. 7 feet, could do a little bit of everything.
He's shooting 42% from 3, by the way.
Yeah, he can shoot threes, and he just kind of learned his way, though. And then Farrell Compton, who you will not see today, he's injured with an ankle and is out, but was the preseason freshman of the year. He's like 6'8", but just a huge high motor, rebounds everything, can score inside, brings a lot of energy. And so that's what they replaced these guys with. And they've been very good, but it's freshmen. You ask any coach, you want to coach freshmen or seniors, and you're going to get the same answer from all 360 odd in Division I.
By the way, shout out to Brian Dutcher. I mean, there's not many opposing coaches in the league that would hold court with an opposing media member for like 10 minutes before the game. I really I caught up with him and was really enjoyed talking to him. He's always one of the nicer coaches in the league, and he's got to be a fun guy to cover.
Yeah, he really is, and he's so accessible. I mean, there are times, for example, last couple weeks ago, they were going to Cal, and they had a complete travel nightmare. Their flight was canceled once, and then they stayed overnight in Orange County, tried to catch another one the next day. That was canceled. Sent half the team on another third flight, and the rest of them bust up. He was calling me to give me updates. I mean, who does that? Brian Dutcher does that, and that's why one of the main reasons I still cover this team is because of him and because of the access and the the transparency and honesty that he has, and I wish more coaches were like that. Leon's great too, but there's a lot of coaches that aren't like that.
You mentioned, and again, Mark Ziegler, our guest, beat writer for the San Diego Union Tribune. How many years covering?
12 now covering this team.
We started we might have started the same year then, 2013, 2014.
Yeah, maybe I'm up to 13.
Yeah,
I was maybe the year before that.
Why? I mean, I know Nick Boyd's having a good year, and they got some nice transfers, but I just struggled and wonder why they couldn't find some more maybe impactful, bigger name transfers given the success they've had in recent years. And maybe I'm wrong, and these guys are all going to prove to be that. But just overall, and I know they like the freshmen and stuff, but overall, what they added in the transfer portal and how they attacked the transfer portal, I mean, I feel like San Diego State should be the easiest school in America to recruit to with the success they've had in the beach and the city. Like, well, what did you make of what they brought in?
So they got Nick Boyd immediately, and that's the guy they wanted more than anybody else. And, he's a very nice player, but what he brings off the court is probably even more important. He is the most natural leader I've ever seen on any San Diego State team. He is incredible behind the scenes. He broke his foot basically in the second practice and of the summer, and was in a boot for 2.5 months and still was the most vocal guy, still was on his scooter coming out to every single huddle, every break in practice, rallying the guys. And that's something you just can't put, price tag on. So they got him, and that was a big deal. But then, Lamont Butler left very late in the process, looked like he was going to stay and then changed his mind. And they went and got Wayne McKinney from the second team all WCC player from USD, kind of a similar player, but he hasn't really kind of had that production yet. And then Elijah Saunders left at the 11th hour, and they hadn't even scouted any players at his position because they were assuming he was going to come back and start.
Yeah. And
that really hurt him. And they just decided, you know what, we're going to roll with our young guys. We like our young guys. We don't want to stack guys on top of our young guys and have them get frustrated and leave. We believe in them, and you know what, we'll play with young guys and see what happens. And so it was orchestrated. It wasn't that they couldn't get guys. They turned down a couple guys, but they just like their freshmen.
And I remember talking to Brian Dutcher over the summer doing my Lindy's magazine stuff, and he was like, I went in there thinking, man, they might be my 5th or 6th place team just based on what they had, what other teams had coming back. And by the time I was done talking to him 15 minutes, I mean, I had him 3rd or 4th again. I mean, it just seems like he really believed in this team more than a lot of the outside people did.
Yeah, and they proved in the non-conference. I mean, he played the toughest schedule they've ever played, which, a lot of people would say was a fool's errand with a young team. They played 4 straight games against Gonzaga, Creighton, Oregon, and then Houston. Those are their 4 straight games. What they thought was going to be a throwaway game against UC San Diego has turned out to be a team that's in the 50s in the net. And so they just played a really, really hard schedule with a young team, and they got some wins out of it. So, I mean, I really think up to the Utah State game, this was his best coaching job. And, this is a guy who's been in the national championship game. Just with what he's done and how to work and brought these guys along. And that Utah State game was a disaster for them. They were up 18. They were still up 7 with 90 seconds, and frittered it away. And that one stung. And this is their first game since. So we'll see how they respond. But they're in a tough position now because they play here, and then next week they play in the pit in the first altitude game for almost this entire roster. So that's going to be a big ask to win either of these games.
You see San Diego State taking the court here. By the way, Brian Dutcher's also got quite the marketing mind. When we were talking earlier, he goes, why aren't they honoring the football team today? He goes, I thought they'd have
he was convinced they would have whipped up with the
He goes, why don't
team.
they have the running back out here at center court today? I said, they probably should. I mean, if they had won the game, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, but and I know San Diego State gets everybody in the league's best shot. They play, it's always sellout crowds. I get it, but the last couple of years, what this rivalry has become, and Brian Dutcher has called it a healthy rivalry in terms of the respect the two teams have for each other. Yeah. It's not nasty or bloody, but every year the games come down to the wire. They're close. And for whatever reason, here in Boise, the last 7 years, San Diego State's had a tough time coming here.
They really have. This is the one team that they look at on the schedule and go, man, that's going to be a tough game. Maybe we just can't win there, and we can't. And talking with Brian about it, he says, look, we haven't played terrible, but we just can't make plays when we need to. And a few years ago, they missed 2 free throws with 7.7 seconds left. That probably would have put that game away. They gave up an offensive rebound, and then Max Rice hits a 3 a couple years ago. They fell behind last year, made a nice comeback, but it wasn't quite enough. Didn't get a couple stops down the stretch, a couple of rebounds, and so he's just like, look, if we don't make those plays, we're going to lose the game here. They're going to be close, and those are how those games are decided. But you're right. They get everybody's best shot, and they embrace that. But I just think this program, the way it's structured, the way it plays defense, the veteran coaching staff that Leon has really mirrors a lot of what San Diego State has done. And I think it just makes it tough for them.
What do you make of the league? We saw the crazy finish last night in the pit, the buzzer beater at about midnight. It was happening right about when the team was landing, about midnight due to their flight delays. But crazy finish. Would have probably been nice for the league race to see Nevada win that game. But New Mexico gets the win. They're 4-0. You see Boise State taking the court here to a nice ovation. But what do you make of the league race here?
Well, if you look at the bracketologists right now, they've only got 2 teams in. They got San Diego State and Utah State. They kind of flip spots. San Diego State was more firmly in, and then when they lost that game, they flipped with Utah State. I think New Mexico and Boise are right there. I think they're in the bubble conversation, and I think if they get a couple wins and don't take any bad losses, they'll be fine. But it's just hard to believe this league's going to have 6 teams again. I mean, I know it's not going to have 6. I think Nevada's probably out of the race.
I think they'd take 3 right now, wouldn't they?
I would 100%. And that's going to be hard to get. I mean, you have a really young San Diego State team. You don't know how they're going to hold up through the rigors of a 20-game conference schedule, and not chartering. You kind of mentioned that. That has a sort of a cumulative effect throughout the season and wears them down, I think. So you just don't know how they're going to be. I think Boise definitely, with the experience, should be fine. Won't do stupid things in the league and take stupid losses or blow an 18-point lead. And so I think they're going to be right there. Utah State obviously is a surprise. If they keep it going, of course they're in. And then New Mexico is sort of a wild card because they've been good, but they've always fallen apart in February. And this team does not have depth. A little internal strife going on, struggling some games already at home. And so we'll see what happens in February with them.
Last question for you, Mark Ziegler, San Diego Union Tribune. Just what, from the San Diego perspective, what do they need to do today to come in here and get a win? And what are they saying about Boise State? And what are your kind of thoughts on the actual matchup here?
Well, the word I kept hearing from the players when I talked to them about this game was physicality. They look at the roster, they look at the size and the strength that Boise has and says, the more physical team's going to win. We got to be physical. We got to rebound. Rebounding's been a problem for this team all season until the last couple games. They've really emphasized it in practice. I mean, a lot. And in the last 2 games, they've rebounded really well against good rebounding teams. I personally think whoever shoots more free throws is going to win this game. Boise State's very good at getting the line. San Diego State has not been great, but at times they have been able to. And so I think that's going to be another key. And then the last thing is can Boise State's guards, who are bigger, maybe not as quick, handle San Diego State's guards? Nick Boyd's a quick guy. BJ Davis is quick. Miles Bird is taller and longer, but also quick. And can they guard them without fouling and keep them off the line and give them free points?
And I know Brian Dutcher's a big fan of Alvaro Cardenas.
Oh, he loves him. He loves him. He just loves. I think every coach loves a guy who's a natural point guard, and he really is. I mean, so many. In modern basketball, you see these combo point guards who play the point, but they're not really pass first. They don't really get other people involved. They're more about, hey, I had the ball in my hand so I can score, and that's fine. But he's definitely a pass first, get everybody involved, run the offense point guard, and you see it with the European influence. That's how the game's played over there. I just love watching him play. And San Diego State's made it tough on him. He's not had very good games against them in the past, but that probably had a lot to do with Lamont Butler covering him, and Lamont Butler's not here today.
And who else is on San Jose State's team, too, probably.
That's a good point.
But, hey, appreciate you, Mark. Great work. Follow Mark on Twitter. He's one of the probably, him and our man Jeff Kramer are kind of the deans of Mountain West reporting here. They do a tremendous job. So I've been admiring you guys and what you're doing from afar for a while, and appreciate you guys for your friendship. And it's been fun covering the league, and should be another fun year this year. And Mark Ziegler, you can read him at what's the website?
San Diego Union Tribune.
Okay, I don't know if it's like UT or something.com. San Diego Union Tribune. Follow him on Twitter. He does a great job covering the league. We appreciate it, Mark.
Yeah, my pleasure. Talk to you, man.
There he is, Mark Ziegler. Appreciate him for jumping on the show. We are inside 20 minutes. Crowd filing in. This is going to be a lot of fun. There's already a nice buzz here in the crowd. It's a who's who here at the game as well. I see Kent Riddle down there. We got a ton of fans in attendance. We got all kinds of folks here for this one. You just look left, you look right. It's like, oh, I recognize him. Oh, I see him. Oh, there's somebody else I know. I mentioned Riddle. All of our friends over at Atkinson's Mirror and Glass. This is the game you want to be to. I saw Tommy Alquist over there. Even Sean Goodwin from the Idaho Statesman blocking our cameras here as well. This is the game. If you're going to pick one game to circle, this was going to be it. Sold out crowd coming in for San Diego State. If you need some gear, whether it's from the Fiesta Bowl, the Mountain West Championship gear, any kind of gear you might need, they got you covered. They still have the Ashton Genty gear as well. So if you're looking for any Ashton Genty gear, any Boise State gear, any of that good stuff, they got you covered at the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. You can check them out online, theblueandorangestore.com, or at the Boise Town Square Mall next to Pro Image. The Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. Check them out for all your Boise State gear. We are in January now, so we are in January. Jackson's, $2 gets you a hot dog and a soda at Jackson's. When the Broncos score 70 points, that might be tough today against San Diego State. If Boise State can do that, you got to feel pretty good about their chances. But 70 points gets you a hot dog and a soda 2 days later. Not the next day, but the second day. So Monday, you could get a $2 hot dog and soda bundle at Jackson's, courtesy of our friends at Jackson's. They're our new post-game show sponsor all basketball season long, all football season long. The Jackson's post-game show comes up after the game. Cannot wait to tell you more about Jackson's, but next time you're looking for the fountain drink, hot dog, snacks, and, of course, gas, make sure you hit up our friends at Jackson's. Speaking of food, LeanFeastMeridian.com is ready to help you with all your meal prep, all your lunches, dinners, breakfast. They got it all, fully customizable, and it's good in your refrigerator for 5 days. They also deliver anywhere in the Treasure Valley, so you can order online, have it delivered on a Sunday or Monday, and have your lunch for the entire week there at Lean Feast. LeanFeastMeridian.com. Check them out, Lean Feast. We want some voicemails. We'll take your post-game voicemails on the post-game show. Abe Jackson and I, speakpipe.com/BNN. Speakpipe.com/BNN. Get your final score predictions and thoughts in. We'll get to those here in a couple minutes. Speakpipe.com/BNN. You can leave us a voicemail, and it's courtesy of our friends at Signature Roofing, covering our community for more than 20 years. MySignatureRoofing.com. Whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, an inspection, all your roofing needs, check them out online, MySignatureRoofing.com. Signature Roofing. Just saw our man John Watts. The whole crew from Signature Roofing is in the house today. Signature Roofing, MySignatureRoofing.com. Both teams on the court warming up. And don't forget, all yearly subscribers, we're going to draw this when we're at Circa in 2 weeks. We're going to head down to Circa and draw our winner. So you have 2 weeks right now to jump in. Subscribe today to Bronco Nation News. $50 gets you a full year subscription, 365 days at BroncoNationNews.com. Use the promo code BNN50deal. We hope you'll support our efforts, our travel costs to cover the road games. We'll be at every basketball game the rest of the season. If you want Mike Prater's columns, you want my columns, you want Nathan Carroll, John Mallory. John Mallory claims he's going YouTube exclusive here moving forward.
Ball game after dark.
Ball game after dark. You got to be a yearly subscriber. So sign up now, and if you sign up, you get a chance. All yearly subscribers are entered in a random drawing to win a trip for two on a private jet to the game in Las Vegas coming up in a couple of weeks. You see the Broncos warming up, the crowd filing in. Appreciate all you guys for your support of Bronco Nation News, for your help. We're getting ready for the national anthem here. We do need a new signature roofing video from RJ, Sarah. I agree. Let's get that going here. So Bob Barry is going to get a new roof thanks to RG Keen and Signature Roofing. All right, Bob, I hope you're serious about that. We'll make sure you tell them BNN is where you heard it, and they'll give you a nice little discount. So we appreciate you guys for checking us out. Big game coming up. They're getting ready for the national anthem. The crowd filing in. We're 5 minutes away from the top of the hour, about 10, 12 minutes away from tip-off. This game is coming soon. We appreciate all you guys for your support. Enjoy the game. It's on Fox. Or excuse me, CBS. Why did I say Fox? National CBS, and it's the great Chris Lewis on the call today for CBS with Steve Lapis. You get Steve Lapis and the hometown guy, Chris Lewis, on the call. Chris Lewis on the call. Christopher Ward is at Taco Bell right now. Appreciate you, Chris, for your support of the sponsors. Go support the sponsors. Enjoy the game. We'll talk to you on the postgame show. Bronco Nation News live at ExtraMile Arena. The Lithia Ford Boise Pregame Show. The Western Collective Studios. Our title sponsor, rowpaint.com. Go get a Horseshoe Golden Ale. Go get some Taco Bell. Go buy a car from Lithia. Switch your bank over to ICCU. Schedule your painting with rowpaint.com. All of our great sponsors. And we will see you on the postgame show. Enjoy the game, everybody. The game of the year here in the Mountain West. Like and subscribe, as Bob Barry said, and we'll talk to you later. Boise State, San Diego State, a big one in the Mountain West. We'll talk to you on the postgame show. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com.
Bronco Nation News is presented by rowpaint.com, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, by Lithia Ford, the Blue and Orange Store, Western Collective, by Jackson's, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Bauscher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, by Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and by Timberstone Golf Course.